last 3/4 of an hour, but it's always busy. But I'll see how it could be busy. Could you try it for me, please?
Murray Hill 40098. One moment, please.
Oh, I don't see how it could be busy all this time. It's my husband's office. He's working late tonight, and I'm all alone up here in the house. You know, I'm very sick. I've been so nervous all day.
Ringing Murray Hill 40098.
Hello?
Hello? Hello, is Mr. Stevenson there? Hello?
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 Hello? George?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Who's this? What number am I calling, please? Hello?
We have heard from our client. He says the coast is clear for tonight.
Yes, sir.
Where are you now?
In a phone booth.
Okay, you know the address. At 11 o'clock, the private patrolman goes around to the bar on 2nd Avenue for a beer. Make sure all the lights downstairs are out. There should be only one light visible from the street. At 11:15, a subway train crosses the bridge. It makes a noise in case her window is open and she should scream.
Oh, hello? What number am I calling, please?
Okay.
And make it quick. As little blood as possible. Our client does not wish to make her suffer long.
A knife, okay, sir.
Yes, a knife will be okay. And remember, remove the rings and bracelets and the jewelry in the bureau drawer. Our client wishes it to look like simple robbery.
Okay. I get it.
How awful, how unspeakably.
Your call, please.
Operator, I've just been cut off.
I'm sorry, what number were you calling?
Well, why, it was supposed to be Murray Hill 40098, but it wasn't. Some wires must have been crossed, and I was cut into the wrong number. And I just saw the most dreadful thing about a murder, and... Oh, operator, you simply have to retrace that call at once.
I'm sorry, madam, I don't quite...
Oh, I know it's the wrong number, and I had no business listening, but these two men, they're cold-blooded fiends. They're going to murder some woman tonight at 11:15, and we've got to stop them. We've got to...
What number were you calling, madam?
Oh, that doesn't matter. It was a wrong number, and you dialed it. Now, we've got to find out what it was immediately.
But, madam,
Oh, why are you so stupid? Look, it was obviously a case of some little slip of the finger. I told you to dial Murray Hill 40098. You dialed it, but your finger must have slipped, and I was cut into the wrong number. And I could hear them, but they couldn't hear me. Now, I simply fail to see why you couldn't make the same mistake again on purpose. Why couldn't you try to dial Murray Hill 40098 in some careless sort of way?
Murray Hill 40098. I'll try to get it for you, madam.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Murray Hill 40098 is busy.
Operator!
Yes, madam.
You didn't try to get the wrong number. I asked explicitly, and all you did was dial correctly.
I'm sorry, what number were you calling?
Oh, can't you for once forget what number I was calling? You did something specific? Now, I want you to track down that call. It's my civic duty, and it's your civic duty to track down that call and apprehend those dangerous killers, and if you won't,
I will connect you with the chief operator.
please.
Mr. Curtis, will you pick up on line 17?
Yes, what's the trouble?
Someone wanting a call traced. I can't seem to make head or tail of it.
Sure, 17? This is the chief operator.
Chief operator, I want you to trace a call, a telephone call. I don't know where it came from or who was making it, but it's absolutely necessary that it be tracked down at once. Because it was about a murder, yes, a terrible cold-blooded murder before this woman tonight at 11:15.
I see.
I don't know. I mean, can you track it down for me? Can you track down those men?
It depends, madam.
It depends on what.
Depends if it's a live call. If it's still going on, it can be traced on the equipment, but if it's been disconnected, it can't.
Disconnected?
Both parties have stopped talking to each other.
Oh, well, at least they've stopped talking to each other by now. That was at least 5 minutes ago.
Well, we can try tracing it. Now, what is your name, madam?
Mrs. Stevenson, Ms. Elmer Stevenson. But listen,
And your telephone number?
Plaza 42295. But if you go on wasting all this time,
What is your reason for having this call traced?
my reason, well, for heaven's sake, is it obvious that over here two men, they're killers who planning to murder some woman, and it's a matter for the police.
Well, have you called the police?
Well, no, how could I?
So making this check into a private call purely as a private individual?
Well, yes, but meanwhile,
Well, Miss Stevenson, I seriously doubt we can make this check for you at this time based on your say-so as a private individual. We'd have to have something more official.
oh, for heaven's sake, you mean to tell me I can report a murder without getting tied up in all this red tape? All right, then, I will call the police. Ridiculous.
please.
The police department, please.
Ring the police department.
Here's your lunch, Sarge. We don't got no jelly donuts, so I got you French curlers, okay, Sarge?
French crullers, I got ulcers. Why didn't you make it apple pie?
Well, we don't have apple pie either, Sarge.
Police Department Precinct 43, Duffy speaking.
Police department, this is Mrs. Stevenson. Mrs. Albert Smith Stevenson of 53 North Sutton Place. I'm calling to report a murder.
Eh?
Well, I mean, the murder hasn't been committed yet. I overheard it over the telephone, over a wrong number that the operator gave me. I've been trying to track it down myself, but everybody is so stupid, and I guess in the end you are the only ones who could do anything. It was a perfectly definite murder. I heard the plans distinctly. There were two men, and they were planning to murder this woman tonight at 11:15. She lived in a house near a bridge.
Yes, ma'am.
And there was a private patrolman on the street, and he was going to go for a beer on 2nd Avenue, and some third man, some client who was paying to have this poor woman murdered, they were going to take her rings and bracelets and use a knife. Oh, well, it's unnerved me dreadfully, and I'm not well.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you do something?
I see. And when was all this, ma'am?
It was about 8 minutes ago. So you can do something, if you understand.
And what is your name, ma'am?
Mrs. Stevenson. Mrs. Albert Stevenson.
And your address?
53 North Sutton Place. That's near a bridge, the Queensboro Bridge, you know? And we've got a private patrolman on our street and 2nd Avenue.
And what was that number you were calling again?
Murray Hill 40098. But that's not the number I overheard. I mean, that number is my husband's office. He's been working late tonight, and I've been trying to reach him to ask him to come home. I'm an invalid, you know, and it's the Mason night off. I hate to be alone, even though he says I'm perfectly safe as long as I have the telephone right beside my bed.
Well, we'll look into it, Miss Stevenson, and check in with the telephone company.
But the telephone company said they couldn't check the call if the parties had already stopped talking. I've already taken care of that.
Oh, yes?
Personally, I feel you ought to do something far more immediate and drastic than just check the call. What good just checking the call if they've already stopped talking? I'd say the whole thing calls for a search. A complete and thorough search of the whole city. I'm near Deer Bridge, and I'm not far from 2nd Avenue, and I know I'd feel a whole lot safer if you sent a radio card to this neighborhood at once.
We'll take care of it, Liddy. Don't worry.
But it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen in my neighborhood.
And what makes you think the murder's going to be committed in your neighborhood, ma'am?
Well, I don't know. The coincidence is so horrible. The patrolman, 2nd Avenue, the bridge.
2nd Avenue is a very long street, ma'am. And do you happen to know how many streets there are in New York alone? Not to mention Brooklyn, Staten Island, Queens, and the Bronx? And how do you know there's some little house on some 2nd Avenue you've never heard about? How do you know they were even talking about New York at all?
Well, I heard it on a New York dialing system.
Telephones are funny things. Look, Liddy, why don't you look at it this way? Supposing you hadn't broken in on that telephone call you overheard. Supposing you hadn't got your husband the way you always do. Would this murder have made any difference to you then?
Well, no, I suppose not. But it's so inhuman, it's so cold-blooded.
A lot of murders are committed in the city every day, ma'am. If we can do something to stop them, we would. Look, Liddy, why don't you look at it this way?
But surely...
Unless, of course, you have some reason for thinking this call is phony, and someone may be planning to murder you.
Me? Oh, no, I hardly think so. I'm alone night and day. The only person I see is my maid Eloise, and she's a big 200-pounder. She's too lazy to bring on my breakfast tray. And the only other person is my husband, Albert. He's crazy about me. He adores me. He waits on me hand and foot. He's scared to left my side since I took sick 12 years ago.
Well, then there's nothing for you to worry about, is there? And now, if you'll just leave the rest of this to us.
Oh, what will you do? It's so late. It's nearly 11 o'clock.
We'll take care of it, lady.
But will you broadcast all over the city? Will you send out squads and warn your radio cars to keep watch, especially in suspicious neighborhoods like mine?
Lady, I said we take care of it, but now I've got a couple of other matters on my desk that will require my immediate...
Oh, you idiot!
What a crazy character.
Oh.
I'm real.
Oh, no, why did I do that? I don't think I am a fool. Oh, Albert, why doesn't he come home? Why doesn't he? what's keeping him so long.
Bringing Murray Hill 40098. Sorry, the line seems to be busy.
Oh, I can hear you. You don't have to tell me. I know it's busy. If I could only just get out of my bed for a little while, get a breath of fresh air, or lean out my window and see the street. Hello, Albert? Hello? 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 Oh, what's the matter with this phone? Hello? Hello? Oh. Hello? Hello? Oh, for heaven's sake! Who is this? Hello? Hello? Oh.
Your call, please.
Hello, operator. I don't know what's the matter with this phone tonight, but it's positively driving me crazy. I've never seen such inefficient, miserable service. Now look, I'm an invalid and I'm very nervous and I'm not supposed to be annoyed, but if this keeps up much longer,
What seems to be the trouble, madam?
well, everyone could be murdered for all you people care, and now my phone keeps ringing.
Yes, madam?
Ringing and ringing and ringing every 5 seconds or so, but when I pick it up, no one's there.
I'm sorry, madam. If you will hang up, I will try and test it for you.
I don't want you to test it for me. I want you to put through that call, whatever it is, at once.
I'm sorry, madam. That's not possible.
Not possible. And why, may I ask?
The system is automatic, madam. If someone is trying to dial your number, there's no way to tell whether or not the call is going through. Unless the person complains of their particular operator.
Oh, well, all this stupid complicated. And meanwhile, I've got to sit here, suffering, every time my phone rings, imagining everything.
I'm sorry, madam. I will check it for you.
Check it, that's the only way you can do. Oh, all this stupid, useless. Oh, what's the use? Oh. Hello? Hello? Who is this? Stop ringing, you understand me? Don't you understand? You're driving me crazy.
Hello. Is this Plaza 42295?
Yes, this was a 42295.
I have a telegram here for Mrs. Elbert Stevenson. Is there anyone there to receive the message?
I am Mrs. Stevenson.
The telegram is as follows. Mrs. Elbert Stevenson, 53 North Sutton Place, New York, New York. Darling, terribly sorry. Tried to reach you for the last hour, but line busy. Leaving for Boston, 11 p.m. tonight on urgent business. Keep happy. Be back tomorrow. Love, signed, Elbert.
Oh, no.
That is all, madam. Would you like us to deliver a copy of the message?
No, thank you.
Thank you, madam. Good night.
Good night. Oh, no. No, how could he? No, it's gotta be some trick. It's gotta be some fiendish trick. No.
Your call, please.
Operator, will you please dial that Murray Hill 40098 number for me just one more time?
Ringing Murray Hill 40098.
Oh, no. Oh, he really is gone. No, how could he do this to me? How could he? Oh, no, I don't care what he says or what the expense is. I'm a sick woman. I'm entitled.
This is information.
I want the telephone number of Henchley Hospital.
Henchley Hospital. You have the address, ma'am?
No, it's somewhere in the 70s, though. It's a small, private, exclusive hospital where I had my appendix out 2 years ago. Henchley Hospital. H-E-N-C.
One moment, please.
Please hurry. And please, what is the time?
I don't know, ma'am, but you may know the time by calling Meridian 71212.
Oh, for heaven's sake, couldn't you just...
The number for Henchley Hospital is Butterfield 70105.
Butterfield 70105.
evening, Henchley Hospital.
Nurses registry.
I see. And what is the nature of this case?
Nurse. I'm very nervous. I need soothing companionship. My husband is away and
Have you been recommended by any doctor in particular, madam?
Well, no, but I don't see why all this catechizing is necessary. I want a trained nurse. I was a patient in your hospital 2 years ago, and after all, I do expect to pay this person.
Yes, we understand that, madam, but our superintendent told us not to send out nurses if it is absolutely necessary.
Well, it is absolutely necessary. I'm very nervous and I'm very alone, and tonight I overheard a telephone conversation that upset me dreadfully about a murder. A poor woman being murdered tonight at 11:15. I'm afraid if someone doesn't come soon, I'll go out of my mind.
I see. Well, I'll speak to Mrs. Phillips when she gets back. What is your name?
Miss Phillips, when do you expect her in?
She left for dinner at 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock? But it's not even 11 yet. Oh, my clock has stopped. What is the time, please?
Just 14 minutes past 11.
What was that?
What was what, madam?
That click as if someone had picked up the extension of the phone downstairs. What was it? Did you hear it?
I didn't hear anything, madam. Now,
but I did. There's someone in this house. There's someone listening. They're downstairs in the kitchen. No, I won't make a sound. I'll be quiet. I won't talk to nothing. Oh, but if I don't call someone now, while they're still down there, there won't be any time.
Your call, please.
Operator, I'm in desperate trouble.
I cannot hear you, ma'am. Can you please speak louder?
No, I don't dare. There's someone listening. There's someone in this house. They're downstairs. They're gonna murder me. Oh, can you hear me now?
Your call, please. What is the number that you're calling, madam?
Oh, you've got to hear me. You've got to. There's someone. They're gonna murder me. They're downstairs. They're gonna murder me. You've got to get in touch with someone. That was it. They put down the extension of the phone downstairs. They're gonna. The police department, please.
Police Department Duffy speaking.
Sorry.